Welcome to Shooby Dooby Doo-Up, a podcast where we talk about pop music. We're halfway through our deep dive of the UK Top 10 Singles Chart of the 12th of June 1988. I'm James Cook.
I'm Andy Robinson.
Here's the songs we've talked about so far.
This is what you've already missed. Go back to our last episode.
Down 2 to number 10, it's I Saw Him Standing There by Tiffany.
A radical feminist reworking of a Beatles classic.
Up 3 to 9, Every Day's Like Sunday by Morrissey.
Is it miserable? Yeah.
Down 5 to 8, Somewhere in My Heart by Aztec Camera.
A perennial classic that lives within our hearts to this day.
Up 8 to 7, Wild World by Maxi Priest.
It sounds a little bit like a daytime television theme.
And down 4 to number 6, It's Got to Be Certain by Kylie Minogue.
A song which the Lin 9000 and the Yamaha RX 120 and Oberheim DMX claps are heard, according to Adam Harris on YouTube.
All the songs featured can be found on our Spotify and YouTube playlists. The link's in the description.
Please listen to it either before, during or after this next bit of nonsense.
And if you join our Patreon community, you can get access to our bonus tracks podcast, where we cover half a dozen songs that are in the chart but aren't in the top 10. A lot of bangers in this week's. Here's a taste of what you can expect.
What a joy.
I love everything about it. Literally everything about it I think is amazing. I've been listening to it so much this week.
I hear the roar of a big machine.
A big machine?
Big machine.
Oh, not a big machine. That's like a machine, but big.
Well, this is a kind of madness we both engage in since starting this podcast, isn't it, James? All right.
It's what you've got to do in podcasts. You've got to say completely unfounded conspiracy theory bullshit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, we're a bit more fast and loose with the rules, yeah, on Patreon. Yeah.
Join our community now at patreon.com/ShoobyPodcast.
Number 5.
It's a non-mover at number 5 this week. It's Desireless with Voyage. Voyage?
Or as she pronounces it, Voyage, Voyage.
It's very French, this record, isn't it?
Oui, c'est vrai. It's like eating a baguette on top of the Eiffel Tower with a sense of déjà vu.
You daft racist. It's very 80s, isn't it? I kind of like the sound. It's a bit different from the sound of a lot of other records we've heard in the top 10. Very synth-based, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's an electronic banger.
Euro electro pop. Desireless, born Claudia Frisch-Mentrop.
Oh, is Desireless the name of the artist singing it rather than a band or a collective of musicians?
Yeah, Desireless is one woman.
Okay.
Did you watch the video?
I did watch the video. I couldn't work out whether it was set in a tea room or some psychiatric unit.
Well, what's the difference these days? She's got Jedward's hair.
Yeah. Good spot.
So that was very enjoyable. Originally released 2 years previously in 1986, it was remixed by Pete Hammond and Pete Waterman.
Oh, okay.
Apparently. It's a number 1 in Austria, West Germany, Spain and Uruguay, but only gets to number 2 in France. Do you speak any French?
Un peu. Sylviane est un guêpe qui pique le facteur sur le nez. Il va vite sur sa bicyclette. That means Sylviane is a wasp who stings a postman on the nose and he goes quickly on his bicycle.
Nicely done.
I feel we might have mentioned it. We've talked about French records in the past, James, in let's call it, I think it was one of our bonus tracks.
Yeah, we did. It was Petula Clark.
Yeah, we talked about other records that were also in the French language, weren't we? Which I can't remember, apart from Plastic Bertrand, C'est plein pour moi.
This was one of them.
Yeah.
Voyage, voyage, which of course means travel, which is not as good. Travel. It sounds like the jingle for the traffic news on the radio. Yeah. And now time for the travel.
As Girls Aloud once said, I can't speak French, but I let the funky music do the talking. I didn't understand any of the words to this.
I can give you some of them if you want. The translation.
The translation, please.
Above the old
S'il vous plaît.
Above the old volcanoes, wings glide under the wind's carpet.
The wind's carpet?
The wind's carpet.
Fine.
Travel. From clouds to swamps, from Spanish wind to Ecuadorian rain. Travel. She keeps banging on about the wind, doesn't she?
Yeah.
Then, slightly more problematic in a kind of spice up your life way. On the Ganges or the Amazon, among the blacks, the Sikhs and the yellows. Travel.
Desireless, let's cancel her.
Yeah. Obviously in French, so it sounds sophisticated.
You can get away with a lot in French, can't you?
I remember this at the time.
I had no memory of this.
It was on Hits 7, which was my brother had the double cassette of. He had that, I had the double cassette of Now 10.
Yeah.
And we would occasionally swap. just to spice things up.
I'm glad you've said this, James. I've been listening to our old episodes as we've been putting them out, and quite often you talk about your brother buying a record, and you say, I didn't feel I could buy it, and I couldn't listen to it. And then a bit of me, James, in retrospect, I thought, why don't you just share them?
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. But it was his. If you can't speak the language that the song is in, your brain, I think, automatically looks for words that it recognises. Right, yeah. And that's why I'm convinced there's a line in this song where she says, conceded fuck all. Which sounds like a boast by a goalkeeper.
Yeah. Maybe that's why Desireless had the haircut. Give her that extra few inches, going up for a difficult cross.
Conceded fuck all. I'm sure it's in there.
Yeah, nice.
Her follow-up single was called, and I'm not making this up, John.
Okay.
It got to number 92.
I mean, once we covered LaRue, yes. I thought it had LaRue vibes, this song. I'm going to say LaRue might have been influenced by Desireless.
Yeah, there is a bit of a LaRue. She's got a bit of a LaRue look as well, hasn't she, in the video.
Yeah.
The video is very 80s sort of faux art pop video, isn't it?
As I say,
projections and unusual people doing weird things.
Absolutely. It's a list of characters in this video, isn't it?
It's not quite True Faith, but going that way. Did you like it?
It was serviceable to me this week. I mean, I kind of liked it because it had a different sound to a lot of the top 10. It's a modern sound still, isn't it?
Yeah. Voyage.
Hearing this song however many years later, should we say 40 for the sake of argument?
Yeah, I mean, technically it's 37, but okay.
Let's round it up. A little bit like McDonald's ask you to do when you buy something from their stores. Have you seen this? It really annoys me. You buy something from McDonald's and it's £9.24, say.
God, what are you buying from McDonald's that's £9.24?
Loads of nuggets. I'm having a Stormzy meal.
Oh, I see.
The millionaire Stormzy likes McNuggets and a McFlurry, would you believe? I thought it was, like I say, not my favourite. I didn't buy it. I didn't remember it. It was all right this week. I enjoyed this enough.
It is a quintessential bit of Euro 80s pop, isn't it?
Yep.
Number 4.
Up a staggering 20 places to number 4, and there may be a reason for that. It's Boys, Summertime Love by Sabrina.
Sabrina doing some loving in the summertime. On YouTube comments, someone says, in this song, the Oberheim Matrix 12 brass was heard. Do you know who said that?
Was it the same guy who was commenting on the Kylie Minogue record?
Absolutely. Adam Harris 7775. Check out the old episode to see his musical interpretation.
I mean, I thought we were nerds, but man alive, he's taking it to another level.
Yeah, thanks for listening. Acho8387 on YouTube says, this is one of the songs I listen to when the homies aren't around. Acho puts a bit of Sabrina on when he's not wanting to be cool.
Yeah, when his homies aren't right. My homies can never know that I listen to Sabrina. Boys, 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 are you looking for a good time? Are you looking for a good time, Andy?
There's a lot of people saying, my dad used to love this, so, I can kind of believe it.
There is something there for the dads. So it jumped 20 places up the chart to number 4 in a week. Not unheard of, and not unheard of when the song had featured on Top of the Pops the week before, which had happened. They'd showed the video, but they'd showed a censored version of the video because they felt that Sabrina Salerno's bikini top was a little bit too small for her.
I don't believe it was one of them shoots when the director was saying, hey, we really need to highlight the band on this. It's very much Sabrina with let's call it her blunt sexuality. Yeah,
the BBC claimed you could see her nipples. And I mean, I've looked at that video quite a lot and I don't think you can.
Okay. I mean, as you say, it's it had you incel.
Why am I an incel?
I'm going to put Stephen Graham onto you. See if he makes another drama about how affected you were by Sabrina. I mean, I feel a little bit dodgy talking about it. Last week, we talked about a record called Girls, Girls, Girls by Sailor.
Yeah.
Didn't we? You thought it was sexist. I didn't. So how do you feel about Boys, Boys, Boys?
Yeah, fine.
Fine.
It's great.
Do you like this record?
She's saying, if anything, it has the same problem as Girls, 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 because it's a woman asking a man, what do you want?
Yeah.
Rather than saying, I want this.
I knew you were going to say that.
I think it is implied that she's up for it. I think it is.
I mean, I was watching the video, I have to say, with my shameful male gaze, and I don't mean the male gaze who bought this record, probably. The song is irritating.
Yeah, you don't like it?
Nah.
Boys, 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 you're looking for a good... You don't like it?
I don't like it. Again, in the video, we have come a long way from the way women were represented in the Morrissey video, aren't we? I mean, I feel a little bit like we have to acknowledge it a bit. I don't want to go on about Sabrina's appearance and blah, blah, blah all the time. I mean, if you squint a little bit, it's got Dua Lipa vibes, I'm going to say, these days.
This and the Every Day's Like Sunday video, they're two very different representations of two very different summer holidays, aren't they?
Very much, yeah.
It's like, should we go somewhere in Britain where it's rubbish? Or should we go somewhere in Europe where Sabrina's in a bikini top?
Did she have any more hits, Sabrina?
She had a follow-up single that peaked at number 24 called All of Me that was produced by...
Stock Aitken and Waterman, the Muppets, the Simpsons. We haven't mentioned the Muppets or Simpsons yet this week.
It was Stock Aitken and Waterman. Matt Aitken said about that song only getting to number 24, maybe they didn't shoot the right scene in the swimming pool for the video.
Okay.
She had two more singles the following year that get to number 72 and 95, so no. Maybe I'm a bigger fan of this song than you are.
Sounds like it.
Because it was on Now 12, I'm pretty sure, which I had on double cassette, so I listened to it a lot when I was growing up. But also because I have also experienced the cover version of this song called Boys and Girls Christmas Time Love that was released by the Cheeky Girls, which makes Boys, Boys, Boys by Sabrina sound like, I don't know, the Carpenters. That version of it is so bad.
Right.
It's so bad that when this comes back on, you're like, oh, thank God. Oh, thank God it's not the Cheeky Girls singing it anymore. Come on, it's catchy, it's fun.
It's catchy and fun. I'm not denying any of that. It's fine.
It's got a rap in it.
It's got a rap in it.
Yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned this. Who that?
Who that?
Yeah.
Why, that would be Malcolm Charlton.
Malcolm?
What, the middle-aged rapper? Malcolm Charlton. That's the name of the guy who does the rap. This is a re-release.
Okay.
It was originally released in February. What were they thinking? You can't put this record out in February.
It's not a winter record, that's true. It's not for the dark nights.
No, it only gets to number 60, and then they re-release it in June, gets to number 3.
There we go.
Sells 1.5 million copies worldwide.
Blimey. It might be time to mention Nile Rodgers. Just because you don't like a record, if it's made the top 40, it must be a good song because loads of people have bought it.
Well, that might be true of you for this song, but it's not of me. I think it's ace.
Cool. I like it when that happens. All right then, great. I mean, Sabrina is going on about boys. Let's have some quotes from pop stars and see if you can work out what some other musicians are saying about the nature of masculinity. All right, who said, I like Aurora, Sleeping Beauty, because she's just sleeping and looking pretty and waiting for boys to come and kiss her. Sounds like a good life. Lots of naps and cute boys fighting dragons to come and kiss you.
Right, someone who's quite lazy, but could be a he. I was going to guess Winston Bogard, the Chelsea defender who didn't play any games and just took the money.
Well, if Ariana Grande played for Chelsea, maybe you'd be closer to the truth.
Hey, they probably would sign her.
They probably would.
Probably would.
Hey.
Sign everyone.
I don't get that. Well, that's the thing about Chelsea. They sign
a
everyone.
lot of players, yeah.
Okay. What Sabrina said, I can't speak for boys because I'm not one. I imagine they think differently.
Sabrina Carpenter?
Woo-hoo-hoo. Million pop points to you, James Cook.
I don't think I know any other Sabrinas.
Teenage Witch.
Oh, of course. The main 3 Sabrinas.
Unless you know any Sabrinas, email us into shoobypodcast@gmail.com if your nan's called Sabrina. Who said the army teaches boys to think like men? What famous pop star was in the army?
Elvis Presley.
You got it.
Or one of BTS.
I think every girl's dream is to find a bad boy at the right time when he wants not to be bad anymore. We've already mentioned that.
Today?
I think so.
Kylie Minogue?
No.
Tiffany?
No.
Morrissey?
Yeah, let's say it's Morrissey who says that. It is Taylor Swift, who I do believe, James, has a touch of the Morrisseys about her in some of her songs. She's got that kind of a, you've hurt my feelings and you've betrayed me, haven't we? You know, songs like, this is why we can't have nice things and look what you made me do. So I think in a Venn diagram, Taylor Swift and Morrissey could sometimes be in the same section.
So at number 5 and number 4, we've had 2 Europop songs, but quite different.
Number 3.
Down 2 to number 3. It was last week's number 1. It's Wet, 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 and the song With a Little Help from My Friends.
So again, Andy,
Another Beatles
another
song.
Beatles cover, and you love the Beatles, so you must be delighted about this.
I didn't mind this version at all. I have to say, it came from a album that I bought at the time. This was part of my 30% I bought that I mentioned, maybe. It was from a compilation album, wasn't it?
Yeah, I also had a copy of this. I think I got it for maybe my birthday, which was not long after this. The album was called Sgt. Pepper Knew My Father. It was an album of covers of every song on Sgt. Pepper by artists of 1988. Do you remember which other artists are on that album?
I remember Billy Bragg, because as I mentioned in the first episode, Wet 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 sang on this song, didn't they? Mm-hmm. It was a double A side, wasn't it, with a cover of She's Leaving Home. Now, Billy Bragg, I'm going to say, on Top of the Pops, he's singing it with a piano player, Cara Tivey, I think her name is. There's a couple of recorders on it, isn't there? They're playing the string part at the background. It's not good. And when I went to see, I'm a big Billy Bragg fan. When I went to see him, he did that thing that we all do sometimes. He tried to make out that he corrupted Top of the Pops somehow, and it was a different thing while all the 80s were going on and everyone was being glamorous, Sabrina-esque pop stars. The audience sort of applauded him for being great, and I remember thinking, that's a shit version, mate. And the Wet 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 song, it's charming, isn't it?
It's very pleasant. You know, Scottish blue-eyed soul band Wet Wet Wet. Yeah. And there's lovely smiley Marty Pello with his spiky hair.
I'm glad you said smiley Marty Pello, because as we alluded to, the record was for a benefit for childcare, wasn't it?
Childline.
Childline,
yes, the charity set up by Esther Ranson.
Sod 1000 on the YouTube.
Sod 1000. Oh, God.
After him watching the video, he says, although Marty Pello seems to be laughing about child abuse in the video, he has raised some money to pay abusers to stop, so I guess this is a good thing. Now, I'm going to say to Sod 1000, I don't think that's how benefit records work. They don't pay abusers to stop, do they? No. You got to have some money, abusers. Just don't do them all. Thanks, Sod.
Do you know who else was on that album? Sorry, you mentioned Billy Bragg, then we got Waylaid.
Let me see if I can guess the songs they did.
The Wedding Present.
What song did they do? From Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Doesn't matter, James. They did one of them. Are you using your brain rather than your phone?
I'm using my memory.
Nice
they
work.
did Getting Better.
Oh, okay.
Hue and Cry.
Ah, yeah. What did they do?
Fixing a Hole.
Okay.
Frank Sidebottom.
Benefit Mr. Kite.
That's right. Sonic Youth.
Don't know. What did they do?
Within You, Without You.
Okay.
Courtney Pine.
The jazz saxophonist.
Yeah. Clarinetist, isn't it? He did, it's an instrumental of When I'm 64.
Okay.
And The Fall.
Oh, yeah. What did they do?
Day in the Life.
Okay.
Among others. There are other people on it. There are at least 50 covers of this song, and it is arguably the most successful Beatles song in chart history.
Oh, really?
Because it's been a number one 3 times.
No. Joe Cocker was one.
Joe Cocker, this one, Wet Wet Wet.
And the other one. Give me a clue.
X Factor.
No, go on.
Sam and Mark.
I can remember
They
them.
did it, and they got to number 1.
I like Sam and Mark. They had a little charm about them.
Yeah, little cheeky chappies. And that's what this song is. It's a cheeky chappy song, isn't it?
Very much.
Written for Ringo of Sgt. Pepper.
I mean, I like the way Marty Pello sings because of the Ringo vocals. You're familiar with them. It's a great thing. But, you know, he's putting little... I like it when he goes, what would you see when you turn at the light? I can tell you. It's really playful, isn't it? I like the way he goes, my friends, my friends, my friends, all the time. I think it's charming.
Is he too good a singer to be singing this song?
Maybe. I mean, I saw Marty Pello. I took my mum to see him. Marty Pello, it was a heavily female audience, James, I'm going to say, for Marty Pello. And I understand him from the general nature of the way the women were reacting to Marty. I understand why his band was called Wet Wet Wet. There was a lot of love for him.
That's not where they got the name from, Andy.
What?
Do you know where they got their name from?
No.
What if I told you it was a lyric in another band's song?
Oh, go on.
It's from a Scritti Politti song.
Oh, yeah.
Called Getting, Having and Holding.
While we're talking about Scritti Politti, is it time to mention our extra Patreon content?
Yep, sure. We're going to be talking about one of their songs in our bonus tracks. You can find out all about that by going to patreon.com/Shooby Podcast.
Yes, I mean, I remember reading a book at the time.
Well done.
That's it.
Well done, Professor Wordy Pages.
It was Hunter Davies. He wrote a biography of the Beatles. It was in their lifetime, if you like. They were still a band. And I remember reading this book a long time ago. And within this book, Hunter Davies, the biographer, he must have been present at a writing session between John Lennon and Paul McCartney, because they talk about this song quite a lot, and it's only just came out. It was only released in 1968. And I remember it vividly. Let's talk about Lennon McCartney. You know that line, "What do you see when you turn out the light? I can't tell you, but I know that it's mine." People around them were going, "Sounds a bit dirty, like lads," and they kept it in, so that's good.
It's a good job Wet 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 are called Wet Wet Wet. Do you know what they were called before they took that name?
Nope.
It's one of the most 80s things I've ever heard for a band. They were called Vortex Motion.
Pretty 80s, isn't it?
I call it Vortex Motion. Phenomenal velocity.
I don't think Wet 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 is a good band name, but bearing in mind they were nearly called Vortex Motion, good choice.
At least Wet 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 is memorable.
Yeah.
Because it's... What?
Yeah,
You called that? They were the second band I ever saw live.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Did you enjoy them?
Yeah, it was in the... It must have been about... Not long after this, probably. Oh, he had long hair by the time we saw him live, so maybe after the next album came out. And it was a family outing. And I remember my mom saying after the concert... And this has always stayed with me.
I must go and dry my gusset out. Did she say that?
Oh, God, please.
It's good of your mum, James. I thought I could chuck something in.
You know my dad's going to listen to this.
Well done, Mr. Cook. Give me your dad props.
I'm trying to open up here.
I'm sorry.
Tell you a pivotal moment from my childhood.
What I've done
dragged it into the gutter once again.
I've messed up the modern way, James. What I have to do is listen to your childhood trauma and be very sympathetic to it. Go on.
It wasn't traumatic at all. It's just a line that's always stayed with me, and I occasionally use it to describe people. After the concert, my mom said, "He's a very confident young man, isn't he?"
He is confident.
He's a confident young man.
I saw Wet 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 recently. I was invited by somebody very kindly to go along and watch them. I wouldn't have necessarily have gone. They were on a double bill with Go West. Marty Pellow wasn't there with his long hair and his, let's call it, charms. They had the singer from Liberty X. I can't remember his
Kevin
name.
Sim.
Oh, nice work, James. What I liked about it was Wet 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 during this, when he was singing, for some reason they threw in a cover version of Careless Whisper. And I'm thinking, you got the fella from Liberty X here, do just a little bit. Much better song. But, as I say, a little bit like Tiffany. It's a Beatles song, isn't it? Also, these are both Beatles songs that were never singles in the UK, so that gives you an idea of the strength of the song. Hey, this is a type of insight you can get if you join our Patreon. I'm going to say the Beatles are a good band.
Wow, man.
Yeah,
You've blown my mind.
Songs,
blown my mind.
Also, in the YouTube comments... There's Wet 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 performing in front of a collage of, let's call it, children in the photos behind them because of the childlike nature of it. Now, in one of the comments, someone alluded to the fact that Sophie Ellis-Bextor featured in the video on one of the photographs because her dad directed the video, apparently. Then I thought, that's interesting. I went back to have a little look to see if I could spot Sophie Ellis-Bextor. And then quite quickly, James, I realised I was wasting my life. I'm wasting my time deeply, scrolling for an old Wet Wet video to see a picture of Sophie Ellis-Bextor as a child. What am I doing?
We're doing a podcast, mate.
Yeah,
That's what happens. That's what happens. That's who we are now.
Hey, we get by with a little help from our friends. Thanks for listening.
Number 2.
A new entry at number 2. It will be next week's number 1. It is I Owe You Nothing by Bros. Yeah, you can't not go. Do a bit of a Matt Goss exclamation there.
Yeah.
Were you a Brossette?
Do you know, I was a little bit. This song and When Will I Be Famous and Drop the Boy, I loved all them songs. There was one called Cat Among the Pigeons I didn't really give a toss about.
When they were being all earnest and that.
Yeah, I like their fun. This is one of their fun songs for sure.
It's a lot of fun, this record.
Ah, good.
I love the opening line. I saw you crumble like a very old wall.
Which I never knew until I looked at it. I thought it was like a merry-go-round. I saw you crumble like a very old wall. That's good, isn't it?
What crumbles? A wall? No, not just a wall. A very old wall. Yeah, put that down. Because who wrote this song? Who are the credited songwriters?
I don't know. Matt and Luke Goss.
It says on the thing, written by the brothers. Who do you think they are?
Bros?
No.
What?
No, they're not. That is the producer and the manager. That is Nicky Graham and Tom Watkins. They wrote the song and they formed a little double act called The Brothers so they could be the credited authors of the song so that people would look at it and think that Matt and Luke had written it.
Cunning.
Yes. Nicky Graham would later write and produce another UK number 1, Let's Get Ready to Rumble.
Oh, really?
By Anton Deck. Tom Watkins would manage the Pet Shop Boys. Neil Tennant called him a big man with a loud voice. And he'd go on to manage E17, as well as other bands who didn't make it, but that oddly I can remember all of. Electribe 101,
Yeah.
Faith, Hope and Charity, who I saw once at a Radio 1 roadshow. 2/3, whose name is spelled the number 2, woe, third, number 3, and deuce. Tom Watkins' autobiography was entitled Let's Make Lots of Money, The Secrets of a Rich, Fat, Gay, Lucky Bastard.
Nice.
Luke Goss's memoir, released in the early 90s, was called I Owe You Nothing, about how they got screwed by the music business.
Yes, I mean, on YouTube, there's a lot of people dedicating this song to their exes, I Owe You Nothing, which I thought was quite good. I also quite like the line, he who laughs last. What do you say after he who laughs last?
Laughs loudest.
No, it's just nothing sweet, nothing at all. So that's a little rewriting of a cliche by the brothers.
It is. It's got a defiant edge, isn't it?
What I liked about it, James, a little bit, it's so 80s, loads of noise, isn't it? But the song, I think it does a little bit, this is good, it's kind of in the key of E. I watch you suffer with no feelings, no ceilings, that's all copyright. I see you desperate and you won't hear my call. Oh, sweet nothing, I like the way it gets into the chorus. Nothing out, that's home, home, men are lovely. I owe you something.
Ruo.
You got it. Nothing. So, you know, it's very traditional in terms of the chords behind it as a song, but because of the 80s racket of it all, you know, it's discombobulating.
Well, it's got that synth brass sound, 80s pop production. Why does this
Where's
not...
Adam Harris 7775 when you need him?
He'll tell us all about it. Why does this not bother me like the Stock Aitken and Waterman production?
Because I believe it's the vocals is part of it. I mean, he sings a belter, doesn't he? It's classic songwriting. Verse, chorus, bridge, which goes into the guitar solo. And then the last minute or so is just a chorus repeated over. But crucially, what makes it so good, as opposed to Tiffany, you mentioned, telling people never to dance with another in her vocal scatting, he sings it beautifully at the last minute. I mean, I was listening to it this week, and he's giving it loads of, oh, well, you know, you got to do all that kind of scatting. Everything's got a melody. Everything is beautiful. The last 45 seconds to a minute of this is an absolute pop joy.
Matt Goss is still touring as a solo artist. He's recently toured the UK. And who opens for him on his tour?
I don't know.
Comedians.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I always like someone who employs comedians.
Yeah.
And
I applied.
Did you?
I applied to do the Birmingham Town Hall and I didn't get it.
Wonder who did.
Luke went to America and became an actor. He's in such films as Blade 2 and Hellboy 2.
Yep.
And loads of other stuff
Yep.
that isn't as recognisable. And then there's Craig Logan.
Do you know, I saw a video of him playing with them on Top of the Pops this week. He does a great job, Craig. There he is, hopping from foot to foot throughout the duration of the song. It made me think how difficult it must have been to be Craig when you were in the Brothers.
Do you remember what Smash Hits called him?
No, go on.
And thus everyone in a band who isn't like famous got this name as well. Ken. Ken from Bros.
That'd be all right now with the Barbie film. That's a cool thing.
Yeah.
Unlike his other two colleagues, he doesn't look like a member of Hitler Youth, does he?
That's harsh. That's harsh. I always thought with the twins in Bros, I always thought that their hair was the same colour as their skin, a bit like Bart Simpson.
Yeah, why not?
But Craig Logan goes on to be hugely successful in the music industry.
How?
Well, he leaves the band in '89, citing ill health. There's rumours that he basically had stage fright and it was getting too stressful for him. But he was nominated for an Ivor Novello Award for co-writing the song Don't Worry for Kim Appleby. Then he'd go on to manage, among many others, Anastasia, Dido, Beverly Knight, Roachford.
Wow.
He's owned a couple of record companies as well. He's done very, very well.
Well done, Ken.
Yes, well done, Ken. It's annoying then, isn't it, that everyone still calls you Ken?
Yes, I mean, you know, again, I was just taken back a little bit. I'd forgotten all about the Grolsch bottle tops that they used to put on their shoes. That was a gimmick, wasn't it?
Yeah, and they were massive.
Yeah.
Massive they were.
For a short while. Until they came back in their documentary a few years ago. Did you watch that? After the screaming stops?
Yeah.
I think we should delve into some quotes from that a little bit.
Okay.
Before we do this, James, I'm going to say that after this documentary, a lot of people were really taking the piss out of Bros, weren't they? And I wasn't sure why, because I thought that it was absolutely fine. And a lot of the stuff he was saying, Matt, It was especially Matt who
Yeah.
came out with some of the madder quotes, wasn't it? Madder quotes in inverted commas. I didn't quite get why people were digging in so much. Go on then.
What did...
Let's do the Stevie Wonder one first. He says, I made a conscious decision because of Stevie Wonder to not be superstitious. Everyone took the piss out of this a bit. But then I thought, that's the sort of thing I'd say.
Well, there you go. What do the letters HOME personify to Matt Goss?
Home?
Yep, that's what he says. He says the letters HOME are so important because they personify the word home.
Or spell it, he could have said. But nonetheless, personifies way of putting it.
What can't you play in England, according to Bros?
Conkers.
Can't play conkers, according to Bros.
He was annoyed about the health and safety aspect when they have kids not being allowed to play conkers anymore. Again, people take the piss out of him for this, but it did happen in playgrounds. It was reported that kids were not allowed to play conkers in case they got a bit of conker in their eye or something stupid. If Matt Goss was canvassing, I'd vote for him.
Well, Rome wasn't built in a day, and fuck me, that's true, because we don't have the time Rome had.
Good quote to me. I don't see what's wrong with that.
I like this one. Everyone has to be on the same page, otherwise you don't get to turn the page, because somebody gets left behind otherwise, and then someone has lost the page of the story, which may be the key to the ending. I mean, it's Spinal Tap, mate.
Once bitten, twice shy. 20 times bitten, a little shy.
Put these on a tea towel.
One of my songs is called We're All Kings, which is about a man sweeping the road. He's one of my kings because I'm thankful I don't have to sweep the road. Now, James, we live in Birmingham. At time of recording, there's a big bin strike, aren't there? Yeah. Rats are taking over the city. So what Matt Goss is doing there is celebrating the working man. What's wrong with that? John Lennon, everyone would wank off for doing that. So why not Matt Goss, eh?
In their heyday, there was such demand for Bros stuff that they set up a phone line which had 70,000 fans ringing up this phone line for Bros information.
Really?
The Met Police had to close off Oxford Street in central London when they went to sign records at the HMV. You know, it was another one of those biggest phenomena since Beatlemania.
Yeah. They had their spell in the sun, that's for sure, didn't they?
This is their only number one.
They caused destruction wherever they went for a little bit, weren't they? Also, in that documentary, Matt says, I have a rule in my house. You break it, you fix it, but you can break anything you want. Do you remember the bit that people take the mick out of him for the dart? Do you remember this dart quote that he had?
What was it?
It was something like, we had one toy that we loved more than anything else, and that was a dart. We didn't have a dartboard that went along with it, so we just had one dart. Now, again, people taking the mick out of this. But this is a poor child, isn't it? Growing up in poverty, became a pop star. And I didn't get why people go, oh, you haven't got a dartboard and you mentioned it, you daft apeth. Ridiculous.
Is it, or is it just funny that they would have a dart as the only toy? That's a funny idea. Maybe they're not taking the piss out of them. Maybe they're just celebrating the fact that we were so poor we had one dart.
Yeah.
Between us.
If somebody else said that, there'd be a benefit for them.
Do you think Nelson Mandela only had one dart and that's why they had that big concert?
Yeah, maybe. I mean, if it was Nelson, people would be more sympathetic. This is quite good about the nature of Bros, I think. I was a rectangle and he was a rectangle and we made a square that became a fortress.
See, now you're laughing.
The joy of it all.
You're not laughing at them.
Thank you, Bros, for your, let's call it 3 records I love and contribution to the panoply of pop music. I haven't said that this week, James, so I thought I'd chuck it in.
The UK's number 1.
Up 3 places to number 1 this week. That's right, it's the pinnacle of the charts, the most sold record of the week. It is the Time Lords with Doctor in the TARDIS. Maybe the first number 1 mashup, possibly. Between what? It's got Doctor Who theme in.
Yeah.
It's got a bit of Blockbuster in by Sweet. Oh, that bit. A bit of Gary Glitter.
Yeah, Rock and Roll Part 2 by Gary Glitter. It's the beat from that. It's got samples of the Daleks in it.
Yes.
All the writers of those songs and bits of things are credited songwriters.
Cool. So the money was shared.
We don't know how it was shared. And maybe we'd rather some of the people involved didn't get money, but there you go.
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? Because I let the video play, which I quite like, because also the Daleks in the video have got little tax discs on them. Great little bit of detail. Thank you. And also, as I let the video play, another one came on a little bit, and it was Top of the Pops, right? And there they are, the KLF, dressed, let's call it like KKK members. Oh, sorry.
We should point out that the Time Lords are essentially KLF.
An early incarnation of KLF, yeah? Time Lords. And then On this version, on Top of the Pops, Gary Glitter comes down the stairs to sing a bit, and he's there in there going, "Did you miss me? Do you love me? Do you want to touch me?" All that kind of stuff. Obviously, this day and age different. But Youpa Scott Company in the YouTube comment says, "This is a rare example of Gary Glitter asking for consent." Oh, God. Also, someone on YouTube says, "This should be banned." And then Two Rock Forever says, "Never ban history," which I think is a good point in it. We try and do that in this podcast, don't we, now and again? We don't shy away from, let's call it, the dark side of pop music.
Yeah, Gary Glitter doesn't feature on the record. I mean, other than they have taken stuff from one of his records to make this. He's one of the songs that's mashed up.
They dragged him in for a Top of the Pops performance, though.
Yes, which is a kind of thing the KLF would do. There's so much going on here. Well, in the video, did you see the car in the video?
Yeah.
Which is a 1968 Ford Galaxy, which is very much like the car from the Blues Brothers. According to the Time Lords, who are Time Boy and Lord Rock, that is the names they're using, they said the idea for the song came from Ford Time Lord, their car. Okay. Their car told them to write the song.
Right.
The car would later be banger raced at Swaffham Raceway in 1991.
They're tricksters, aren't they, the KLF?
They are. So they are Bill Drummond and Jimmy Corti are the KLF. Bill Drummond was the guitarist for Big in Japan and managed Echo and the Bunnymen and the Teardrop Explodes. Jimmy Corti went on to marry Alana Curry from the Thompson Twins.
Oh, really?
Fun fact. And how they made this record is the subject of the book that they wrote subsequently called The Manual, How to Have a Number One the Easy Way. And if you want a copy, they are about 150 quid on eBay.
Right.
Or the entire text is online,
okay,
if you know where to look. I've read some of it, not all of it.
I mean, this record at the time irritated me, but I've loved it this week. It's happening, isn't it? It's loud, it's stupid, the mash-up nature of it, the ridiculousness of it, really, really appealing.
It's an art project.
Yeah. There's a good bit in the YouTube comments I read, because the KLF, as we've alluded to, little tricksters, aren't they?
Yeah.
Someone writes on YouTube, in the audio adventures of Doctor Who, which must be, I don't know, the audio adventures, someone's wrote a book. There's an episode in these audio adventures of Doctor Who where it says it had an episode where the villain got a bag of 1 million quid from a mad Scottish pop duo. So it's good to know the KLF exists in the Who-niverse, which I quite liked.
All right, well, we'll get into that. So they wrote this book, The Manual, How to Have a Number One Hit. And in the book it says, if you follow every step in this book, you will have a number one. And if you don't, we'll give you your money back for the book.
That's good, isn't
great.
it? Yeah.
The KLF wrote, basically, a number one is seen as the ultimate accolade in pop music.
We often celebrate it every week, don't we?
Most artists are never able to recover from having one, and it becomes the millstone around their necks to which all subsequent releases are compared.
We are looking at you, Chesney Hawks.
The fact that a record is number one automatically means the track is in a very short period of time going to become overexposed and as worthless as last month's catchphrase. Which is interesting when you bear in mind a couple of the lyrics in Doctor in the TARDIS.
Go on.
Like, almost immediately, one of the Daleks, for no reason, just starts shouting, bosh, 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 loads of money, which was a Harry Enfield catchphrase in 1988 that was really popular for a bit.
Harry Enfield appeared at that Nelson Mandela gig that I was going on about in the first episode. He did loads of money as one of the, let's call it the compares of the show.
He was everywhere around that time. And I remember I was like 11 in the playground. We used to just go around going, loads of money. We didn't know what it was about. Yeah. We didn't know it was a satire of Thatcherism. We just thought it's a funny catchphrase. Anyway, do you know there are some bands who did follow the manual, or at least have said, we followed the manual and we got some success.
Go on, like whom?
Later in 1988, a group called Edelweiss got to number 5 with a song called Bring Me Edelweiss and sold 5 million copies worldwide.
Nice.
The Pipettes,
oh yeah,
that group, their biggest hit was number 26 with Pull Shapes, and the Klaxons, who had a number 7 hit with Golden
Pull Shapes. I've forgotten all about that record. That was a great record.
They said we followed the manual. We followed the advice in the manual.
Hey, they had a certain Rodomontade. That's a reference to a Morrissey quote from the last episode. We just like to try and tie the shoelaces together.
Nicely done. So this record is probably the most nauseating record in the world. Not my words. the words of Bill Drummond on the KLF.
Yeah.
It's an art project that got to number one. It's incredible that this happened.
At the time when I heard it, I put it under the same, let's call it heading, the same banner. Do you remember that record Star Trek in?
Oh, yeah.
And because it was Doctor Who and Star Trek, I thought this is just a silly novelty record. I dismissed it. I suppose because of the KLF's involvement and what they went on to be, and like I say, the nature of them. It sounds loud. It's happening, this record. I'm giving it full credit.
It was critically absolutely panned and loathed, and then 2 or 3 years later, the KLF put out the album The White Room, which has 3am Eternal, What Time Is Love, Last Train to Transcentral, Justified and Ancient, which are 4 massive hits. Big, critically acclaimed album, sells millions of copies, and they're invited to open the Brit Awards in 1992. Do you remember this performance?
I do remember, yeah. They had machine guns, didn't they? Were they emptying buckets of blood or something all over the stage, vaguely?
It's not quite as extreme as that, but it does involve Extreme Noise Terror, the thrash metal band who they decide to do a duet with. They wanted to have buckets of blood and they wanted to dump a dead sheep on the stage, but why didn't they?
Health and safety gone mad.
Nope.
Gone.
It's because Extreme Noise Terror are vegetarians.
Fair enough.
I don't think it was a machine gun, but it was a gun firing blanks that Bill Drummond had. Was firing.
I remember an image of him standing in a kilt with a big gun waving at the audience, a little bit like Sid Vicious when he sang My Way. Didn't in the video he shoots members of the audience. It's appealing.
And at the end of it, their PR guy goes on the loudspeaker and says, "The KLF have now left the music industry." And then they delete their back catalogue. So they sold millions of copies of the album. They're critically lauded. They have these 4 huge hit singles, and then they're out.
As I mentioned earlier from that YouTube comment, £1 million from a mad Scottish pop duo. They were mad, weren't they? This is what's so appealing about KLF. Yep. Getting Tammy Wynette to come on and sing a song about ice cream vans, which we'll cover one week.
Bill Drummond has said that they made about £6 million from the album White Room.
Yeah.
What did they do with 1 million of that?
They famously burnt it, didn't they, on some Scottish island, I think, made a big deal of burning £1 million. Whether the £1 million was in there when they burned it, people are not sure about. Again, another little bit of trickery.
I'm pretty sure it is genuine.
Why?
Well, it was one of their little art projects. They went to this abandoned boathouse on Jura with £1 million in £50 notes, which isn't that many. And, or, you know, when you picture £1 million in your head, like, are you picturing 1 million of something?
Yeah, you get the notion of Scrooge McDuck having a bath in it and all that stuff, don't you?
But, you know, 20,000 £50 notes.
Okay, yeah.
It's like a suitcase. Right. And they set fire to it. And what happens when you set fire to stuff like that is that the air takes it up and bits of it will float away.
Yeah.
So apparently on Jura, people kept finding like half £50 notes for ages afterwards. It's basically littering.
Yeah, well, people were saying how irresponsible it was, weren't they?
And illegal as well. You weren't allowed to do it. But they filmed the whole thing.
Yeah.
And then they would tour around showing the film of it as like an art installation.
Pre-Banksy with his, let's call it, painting that ripped itself up through the shredder.
Julian Cope from The Teardrop Explodes,
another madman,
who used to be managed by Bill Drummond, says Bill Drummond still owed him money. And he said, people should pay off their creditors before they pull intellectual dry wank stunts like that.
I agree. Are you listening, Comedy Club?
Also, do you know who else thinks it was a bad idea?
KLF, maybe.
Yeah.
Do they?
Yeah,
they regret it.
They regret it. Bill Drummond now is like, it's really hard to look your kids in the eye when you've burnt £1 million.
I get ya. I mean,
I think it all came from this bloody novelty record.
Yeah, we've not spoke about a novelty record in this way before, have we? I think Chris Shaw 204 sums it best up on YouTube when he says, this should be our national anthem.
Yes, it should. It absolutely should. Well, that brings us to the end of our little deep dive of the top 10 of the 12th of June, 1988.
What did you feel about it as a snapshot, let's say?
At first glance, I thought, well, this is a bit light, but there's a lot going on, I think. There's a lot more beneath the surface, and, you know, you're seeing the sort of peak Stock Aitken and Waterman and the birth of Kylie as a pop phenomena is part of it. You see Morrissey having left the Smiths, starting.
You see a Ku Klux Klan dressed in black with Gary Glitter singing along with them.
At number one.
Of course.
Of course. And music we associate with the 80s, the Bros, the Sabrina, that's all in there.
What was your favourite?
The ones I'd listen to again are Morrissey and Aztec Camera.
Yep.
I'm such a bloody bloke. But a special mention to I Owe You Nothing by Bros, which I liked way more than I thought I was going to.
Do you know, I bought Morrissey, I bought Aztec Camera, probably another couple of things, but I am also going to go for Bros. I like the fact that we've both become Brossettes this week, James. Unusual, isn't it?
Should we get some growls? Sort our shoes out.
Thank you, the British record buying public of the 12th of June 1988, and thank you especially for listening to this.
Yeah, cheers, guys. And remember, if you want to jump on our Patreon community, which is free to do, and then for a little bit of money, you can get access to our bonus tracks podcast.
Which is very good this week. I'm looking forward to talking about these bonus tracks, James.
There are some perfect pop songs.
Yeah.
And some other stuff.
So, please rate, follow, subscribe, leave a review, and Shooby Dooby Doo. Wop.
Bob Shoe Up.